comprehensive skin guide. The goal of this video is to give you a detailed understanding of what's available and provide you with the perspective of over a decade of experience. The UMP-45 is an interesting force buy alternative with an initial price of $1,200. It's a 2-shot headshot kill with a total of 25 bullets per mag and a reasonable reserve of 100 bullets. It has a fire rate of 666 rounds per minute in tandem with a movement speed of 230 units per second. It's a heavy-hitting, high-damage weapon that requires tap firing at medium to close range for effective results. As you can see, this UMP-45 gold bismuth is extremely worn with a float value of 0.6996. This skin keeps most of its looks even in a high wear. I am now going to go through all of the UMP-45 skins in order of rarity. The Scorched, grayish black burnt looking with a dirty metallic brown background. On the new model at least. The Mutter, dirt brown in varying shades. The accents, mag, trigger, grip, and handle are all matte gray. It reminds me of the safari plains of Africa. The Urban DD-Pad, pixel-based military camo on the main body, which contrasts with the gray stock. The accents, mag, trigger, grip, and handle are light gray charcoal, which match the darker shades of the camo for those monochromatic enjoyers. The Facility Dark, 1,000 similar looking patterns, brick red buttstock and secondary color. The iron sights are a dark blue that blends into a medium shade of that color. The body ends in a matte gray. The white detailing pops on the blueprints of the nuclear facility. The Caramel, default look with bright yellow Picatinny rails and buttstock on the new model. It reminds me of the Yellow Submarine song. It draws the eye, but that's about it. Still wondering what caramel has to do with it. The Indigo, on the new model with indigo detailing. The light charcoal gray on the buttstock and Picatinny rails draw the eye to a lilac on the main body. The light sage green magazine and sights add a touch more color and contrast. The Houndstooth, with a brown houndstooth patterning. Muted mustard background for the body and buttstock. It reminds me of a high-end fashion material. The Fallout Warning. This radiation symbol is a vibrant red. It indicates radioactive materials lie within. The back stripes overlay the rear portion of the skin. Remnants of red remain in a high wear. Be careful, you might get radiation poisoning if you hold on to it too long. The Mechanism. The engine internals are brown tones of varying shades which turn into a soft golden sheen when the light hits it. The top Picatinny rail, gear highlights, and stock pad are a mellow golden yellow, which make for a interesting contrast. The Gun Smoke, brown detailing and buttstock, varying shades of off-white gun smoke going in all directions. Looks rather dated on the old model. The Carbon Fiber, race car exemplified. The gray and black weave nicely together on the main body, very sleek and shiny. The Minotaur's Labyrinth, with 1,000 different patterns, has varying shades of purple design with blue and red highlights. Some of the rare patterns have a Minotaur randomly placed. On pattern 9, he's dead center. On pattern 18, he's far left. On pattern 21, he's far right. It's the best pattern-based UMP in the game by far. The Daylily, light green background overlaid with dark green leaves and burnt orange flowers. The Picatinny rails and back buttstock are a dark red brick color that contrasts nicely. The Full Stop, reddish orange camo in varying shades. Trade-up fodder exemplified. The Delusion, rippling spirals of neon green with highlights of purple. 1,000 similar patterns. In a high wear, it turns slightly more purple. It was recently added to the new model. The Briefing, two-tone blue and gray contrasting colors with red highlights including the sights and trigger guard. This skin is an ethereal typographic map and covers the entire skin except for the lower section of the back buttstock, which takes on a more blue color. The choices of light cream white bullets pop. The Labyrinth, the brightness of the white makes it hard to see the labyrinth. Perhaps you won't get lost this time. Light pastel slate bluish green rails on the top and and buttstock. The Corporal, this tri-color skin with its cream tan, slate gray, and light peregrine coloring, shout military. It has a Corporal 2-stripe insignia on the main body and handle, geometric design throughout with 4 rows of tiny tan squares next to these safeties, which gives a military feel. The metal flowers, as the name describes, shiny bright metallic flowers along with smaller roses and skulls throughout. Perhaps the metal flowers are deadly and that's why the skulls are there. The Bone Pile, green primary color with a lighter shade of green in the middle of the body, spreads out to a darker green. There are several skulls front and center clustered together into a pile. Behind them there are light line markings, reminds me of the catacombs. It's on the new model to boot. The Riot, carbon fiber design with green tone camo on the top. The yellow green really contrasts with the dark gray. An ace of spades is found on the front of the stock and usually symbolizes death. Highly designed and intricate typography throughout, including a logo saying lifted on the handle. Maybe the gun is stolen. Even on the old model, it seems to stand out. The Roadblock, a row of chevrons across the center of the main body, changes to a bright orange color when you fire the gun. Metallic simplistic design. The normal maps are quite exquisite. The Oscillator, 1,000 different patterns, some ranging in color from a full orange on pattern 15 to a full black on pattern 16. Comic book styling with a ripple black puddle patterning. The Blaze, once again a wonderful finish. Bright golden orange to a reddish flame in motion that blends into a dark charcoal base. Brilliant on the new model. The Motorized, BMW engine exemplified. From the markings to the cylinders, this engine looks like BMW engineering. From top to bottom, the highlights are muted blood red. The normal maps are excellent on the new model. It even has a V12 engine inside. The Grand Prix, a tan primary color on the main body which stands out against the dark gray. There is a big 36 in a matching gray found dead center over a white circle with 2 red stripes above the grip and contrasts quite nicely against the tan. The Gold Bismuth, metallic light silver to a bronze gold blend into the gray black with light matte golden highlights. For context, bismuth is originally a rainbow color, so they took the texture and changed the color to make it more minimalistic. Even in a high wear, the design is still intact. Almost looks like a city skyline on top. The Crime Scene, red and blue flashing lights come to mind, faint fence texturing overlaid on top, what looks like the markings of a ruler on the front of the gun, caution tape across the main body, really gives a murder crime scene vibe. Just wondering if this weapon was the cause. The Plastique, C4 exemplified. This skin has a light green motherboard for its primary body, wiring throughout with chipsets, even has a numpad at the center with 3 tiny green lights. They even started entering the code to set it off. The Scaffold, bright cyan coloring with geometric normal mapped shapes across the main body and magazine. White glowing highlights on the sights, grip, handle, and backstock. Reminds me of a alien weapon. The Exposure, bright neon blue X-ray of multiple skeleton parts on a dark charcoal black background. Fractured bones throughout the design with a rib cage on the main body and a tailbone on the back. There are bones from one end of the skin to the other, figuratively head to toe, so to speak. The Arctic Wolf, bright white that leads to varying shades of light gray fur in motion and extends to the handle and magazine. The the light blue-gray background that fades to a dark gray. Red highlights on the firing pin, magazine release, and trigger. Furries rejoice, you have a clean white alternative at last. The Moonrise metallic purple primary color with a pinkish purple New York City skyline. The supermoon shines and it's a focal point. As it sits over what looks to be the Brooklyn Bridge, it has 1,000 similar patterns. There is a star pattern at the front of the sights on number 32. There is also a back star pattern on number 11. The crimson foil, the skin has a pearlescent effect that changes from a orange to a red metallic finish across the main body. Imprinted dead center is the word marathon. There is metallic silver detailing throughout. It's one of the best alternatives on the new model. The Primal Saber. The name is printed in small lettering above the grip with 10,000 BC written underneath, with a large saber-toothed skull on the main body, open wide to include the mag and handle. The cyan scratch marks in the foreground stand out and make great contrast, with a matted texture on the magazine handle and buttstock. The Fade, clean blend of purple to pink to golden yellowish orange, ending on a silver metallic finish on the main body. Very clean alternative on the new model. The Momentum, soft red dusty spray paint design with a cyan core with bright white arrows leading to light blue arrows, then red arrow tips, starting from the back of the main body. They are pointing the way to shoot. Clean color transitions throughout with wonderful subtle geometric designs in the foreground. The Wild Child. If you gave chalk to a creative first grader, I would imagine this would be what they would design, with an abstract pink, yellow, cyan that blends well together, in a stripe effect in the background and a neon yellow that pops. A chaotic mess of scribbles in the foreground. It's very out there, to say the least. The Neo Noir, pristine white on top that lends to an illustration of a female soldier warrior. Her pink and purple hair is dancing in the wind as she casts flame spells with her left hand while holding a flaming katana with her right. There is a magenta skyline with white clouds overlaid on the front of the gun. The flames are a metallic cyan and the background is a dark gray. In a high wear, the magenta turns red and the cyan flames turn green. I personally don't like it in a high wear as the colors don't match as well as the factory new version. I will list my top selections. It is up to you to decide, given all the information and examples, which one is the best for you. Don't doubt yourself and remember your budget should be a part of the equation. My top 6 picks. My $3 pick for the old model is the Minotaur's Labyrinth. My $3 pick for the new model is the Fade. My nostalgic pick for the old model is the Fallout Warning. My nostalgic pick for the new model is the Blaze. My budget pick for the old model is the Gold Bismuth. My budget pick for the new model is the Crimson Foil. Thanks for taking the time to watch the entire video, and hit the subscribe button for the rest of the series to come. Videos come out weekly. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care.